Hi, everybody. What's up? What's up? What's up? Good afternoon. It is Tuesday, the 24th of February. And I am hopping on really quick because I really want to touch on the BAFTA fallout and what we've seen and learned since this huge incident at the BAFTA Awards. So let's jump right into it. I don't have an introduction, but I am sure if you're anywhere online, you've seen what's been occurring. But before we get started, if you're new here, thank you so much for hopping in the live or watching the replay. My name is LA. I talk about trending topics. I'm on here, maybe weekly, maybe bi-weekly, you never know. But today I wanted to talk about the BAFTA Awards, the fallout, the drama. So if you like trending topics, if you like to dig deep, be sure to subscribe to my channel. I'm very excited to have you here and join the team. I'm also going to put the link in the chat if you want to come up and discuss any of what we're talking about. You're more than welcome to hop in. Let me see if I can get you guys in here as well. I'm going to invite you all. I'm going to put the link in the comment section. Click the link. You don't have to be on camera, but I would love to have you here. Hi, everyone. I see so many people have jumped on already. I'm so excited. Let's get into it. Let me first get over to YouTube to make sure you have adequate sound. Can anybody just pop in the chat a thumbs up, a yes or no if you have sound? If you can hear me clearly, that's great. I would just like a confirmation that you all can hear me. And let's see. It should show that I'm live right now, but it doesn't. Oh, there we go. Let me just make sure. Okay, we're live. We got it. All right, let's get into some things. The first thing I want to talk about is these BAFTA awards. I've not been following it because I feel like the discourse is so polarizing. The conversation that I've seen has been, if you don't accept what was said in this tick, then you're an ableist. That is the only conversation I've seen from people who just don't want to take accountability, live in their own bubble. It's just the weirdest, strangest thing. But now there's more information about that night and what exactly happened. So we're about to get into it really, really, really deep because I'm disturbed by everything that I've seen. First, let's start with what exactly happened. And for that, I'm going to share my screen and we'll talk about what happened at the BAFTAs. Okay, I'm gonna be prepared. Go back here. We're gonna open this up over here and this up over here. I don't know if I'm ready, y'all, but we here. This is what we're doing right now. Close that. All right, let's get into what happened at the BAFTAs. I'm gonna open this up and add to stage. And we're gonna play this first.
Good evening. Delroy and I are delighted to be presenting the first BAFTA of the night for a vital part of movie making.
We're here to celebrate the artists who expand what's possible on screen.
Good evening. Delroy and I are delighted to be presenting the first BAFTA of the night for a vital part of movie making.
We're here to celebrate the artists who expand what's possible on screen.
Good evening.
Okay, so
Delroy and I are delighted to be presenting.
let's pause this. Okay, so the first thing that you see was that we had a what they're calling a tick. So I'm not familiar with Tourette's in that I know a lot about it, but I understand Tourette's. We've seen Tourette's on movies, on TV shows. But during Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo's presentation, a actor by the name of Michael, let me go to the story. An actor by the name of, I want to say Michael Richardson is his name, said the hard ER while Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo were on stage. This is an actor who had been yelling out some other expletives during the show. So they were aware, people were aware of the Tourette's tics being front and center during the show. The problem with this is there are other instances in which his tics and his outbursts were edited out. There are also other instances in which people expressed free Palestine or something to that effect, and those presenters, their speeches were edited. So BAFTA is like able to edit what they don't want in there. And Free Palestine, of course, is one of the things they don't want in there. So they took out Free Palestine. They also took out some other presenters' speeches or award winners' speeches and edited those, because what we've learned is that this broadcast, although called live, is presented on a 2-hour delay. So it's on a 2-hour delay, so they are able to edit. And what I found out today was so interesting. What I found out today is that because this was being broadcast, I want to say on, I don't know, let me be clear. I don't know which American TV channel this was broadcast on, but this is the article that I saw today that I'm going to share with you all now. 1 second. This I found very interesting. And then we'll get back to some TikTok edits. So I thought this was extremely interesting. It says that Warner Brothers complained about the BAFTA slur incident and requested it be cut from BBC broadcast. So American companies are, again, this award ceremony is on a 2-hour delay, although it's presented live, like maybe the BET Awards or the Grammys. They call it live, but to make sure that they follow regulations and there aren't any, like nip slips or any, vulgarities popping out on national TV, it's delayed. So it's live with the audience. It's delayed to the general public when it's broadcast. So what happened was Warner Brothers raised immediate concerns about the involuntary racial slur directed at the stars of Sinners during the BAFTA Film Awards and requesting that the incident be removed from the BBC broadcast. This is amazing reporting. Who knew? A well-placed source told Deadline that Warner Brothers executives made a complaint to BAFTA within minutes. And again, on a 2-hour delay, somebody from Warner Brothers said, do not post this. We don't want it broadcast here in the States. So Warner Brothers complaint went to BAFTA within minutes of the Tourette campaigner John Davidson's N-word verbal tic. Keep this in mind, that they are calling this a verbal tic. Keep this in mind. The person said the studio received assurances. Warner Brothers received assurances that its concerns will be passed to the BBC and producer Penny Lane TV during the recording of the ceremony, which was broadcast on a 2-hour time delay. That 2-hour window is so important. That 2-hour window is so important to remember and to recognize, because why would you allow this to be broadcast, and why would you not edit it out? You know why you didn't edit it out, because Black pain, and I have a video on my TikTok. I think I did short form content on this. There is a video on my TikTok in which I talk about, especially to Black women, outrage from Black women and Black people equates to virality, which equates to monetization of some sort, some form. If you get enough people to comment, why are you saying this? Why did you do this? We don't like that you did that. Do you know how many people will come and watch? That can propel you to stardom that you've never seen before. And I don't know why. Maybe y'all do understand. I don't know. Maybe y'all don't understand. I don't know. But what I'm saying is, the truth is, Black outrage equals dollars. Don't ever forget that. Black outrage equals money on social media. So Warner Brothers goes on to say that the source from this account that Warner Brothers complained about the BAFTA racial slur. So here we find out Warner Brothers did hear the slur. American companies tried to intervene, and the BBC continued to broadcast it in spite of the delay. Do you understand, if you have a production company and somebody calls you from Warner Brothers, you fix it. You fix it, unless your intent was already malicious. If Warner Brothers says, listen, you're going to be fined $50,000, guess what? It's probably worth it, because Black outrage brings dollars. Black outrage brings dollars. And on top of that, Black people don't protest and boycott the way that they should. If there was true reaction to this, Black actors here and abroad would never attend this show. Where's the Black Actors Guild? Where's the Black Actors Union? There should be a universal statement put out by Black artists, Black writers, Black producers, Black production companies, Black camera crews, whatever it is, that we are never attending this because of your refusal to make this right. I don't know what making it right is. I'm not saying I'm an expert in anything, but what I'm saying is the refusal of them to edit this when they've edited other things. It's clear what they were intending to do. Their intent was clear. So let's finish the story. Again, somebody says that Warner Brothers contacted Penny Lane TV and the BBC about the BAFTA presentation and this outburst from John Davidson. I think I said Richardson before, so I apologize. It's John Davidson. The source account raises questions about the versions of events given by BBC and Penny Lane. So the BBC and Penny Lane TV are lying about their ability to edit the broadcast. But we saw that at the beginning. At the beginning, they apologized to the viewers. Now they're apologizing to the actors who are on stage, because the truth is coming out. Penny Lane say producers in the gallery were not aware of what had been said until it was too late. 2 hours later? No. Meaning that the outburst directed at Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo was screened on BBC One. BAFTA insiders acknowledged that conversation with Warner Brothers took place. Deadline asked BAFTA whether Warner Brothers' concerns were delayed or relayed to the BBC and Penny Lane, but the organization declined to comment. Hello. Now we're on to what really happened. Now we're on to something. They did not want to admit that this happened. They didn't want to admit that they did this intentionally. That's why they're declining to comment. So on Monday, because the awards ceremony was Sunday, on Monday, BAFTA apologized for the very offensive language. That is not an apology to Delroy Lindo and Michael B. Jordan. That's an apology to the viewers. They apologized for the very offensive language during the event and said it took full responsibility for putting our guests in a very difficult situation. BAFTA's statement did not, however, address why the racial slur wasn't excised from the BBC broadcast. Penny Lane, the production company, declined to comment, but Deadline understands that the production company stands by its position that the crew in the gallery did not hear Davidson's outburst. Everybody heard the outburst. And I have more. So don't go anywhere. Warner Brothers is said to be skeptical of the BBC and Penny Lane's version of events and considers the explanation inadequate given the gravity of the concerns it raised on the night. Even setting aside Warner's complaint, sources in the Royal Festival Hall auditorium said Davidson's interruption was clearly audible in the room, with sources questioning why an urgent message was not sent to the gallery. Everybody heard it. But that's not it. There's more. For their story to be true, it means that nobody in the room mentioned it to the BBC or BAFTA in the 2 hours span between the incident and it airing. That's just not possible. Warner Brothers is understood to have been in contact with BAFTA repeatedly during the evening, making the organization aware of other instances involving this same person, including unintentional comments made to Center's production designer. That's the story that we need to discuss. And before we get in here, I'm going to pull this back up. Give me 1 second to open TikTok back up. That's what we need to discuss. TikTok. Let me pull up the video that I want to share with you from TikTok. Here we go. Because now we're getting down to what actually happened, right? We're going to get to the nitty-gritty of what actually happened. Okay, here we go. Let's get into it because this is the part that I want you to see.
I thought I was done talking about this for the night, but this situation has gotten so much worse. Hannah Beachler, who's the production designer on Sinners, who was at the BAFTAs tonight, has confirmed that the incident regarding the slur with John Davidson was not the only occurrence. She posted this thread onto Twitter. I keep trying to write about what happened at the BAFTAs, and I can't find the words. The situation is almost impossible, but it happened 3 times that night. And one of the 3 times was directed at myself on the way to dinner after the show. And a 3rd time at a Black woman. I understand and deeply know why this is an impossible situation. I know we must handle this with grace and continue to push through. But what made the situation worse was the throwaway apology of if you were offended at the end of the show. Of course, we're offended, but our frequency, our spiritual vibration is tuned to a higher level than what happened. I am not steel. This did not bounce off me. but I exist above it. It can't take away from who I am as an artist. I genuinely hate this for the entire Sinners team. The fact that they were subjected to this on and off camera is just abhorrent, and the BAFTAs need to post a public apology, as well as John Davidson, because you have half of the internet and damn near the whole country of Europe, because you have half the internet and damn near the whole UK calling Black people ableist for not being okay with racism. The fact that this happened multiple times to the Black people of this film is not okay, and I don't want to hear any excuses. I thought I was done talking about confirmed that the incident regarding
So there we go.
with John Davidson,
This was not an accident. This happened over and over throughout the evening. This happened over and over throughout the evening. He used the same expletive every chance he gets. And that's not how Tourette's works. Sorry, it's just not. And like the young lady in the video that I just shared said, all of the Black people who are unaccepting of this weak apology from John Richardson, what's his name again? I'm sorry. John Richardson, and who are unaccepting of this apology from the BBC and the BAFTAs, they're all valid. They're all valid to say no, thank you. I don't want this. Uh-oh.
As well as John Davidson, because you have half of the internet and
am I still broadcasting?
Because you have half the internet and damn near the whole UK calling Black people ableist for not being okay with racism. The fact that this happened multiple times.
Okay, I'm so sorry. So, like I said, you know, and calling people ableist because they don't want to accept that this man went around the entire evening using this racial slur as often as he encountered a Black person. Multiple people from Sinners have said that they were called this by this person. This is not a tick. This is not how Tourette's works. I'm sorry. It's just not. If you want to call me an ableist, you can't cancel me. I can't be canceled, so I'm not worried about it. If you call me an ableist, that's fine. But that's not going to end me, and I'm not going to be the bigger person in the situation. This person who has been excused by every media outlet does not get to run around saying the N-word, hard ER, because then they can claim Tourette's. That's not how that goes. You did it to the two Black men on stage. You did it to one of the Black set directors from Sinners, and you did it to one of the wardrobe stylists from Sinners. This sounds like Tourette's to y'all? I mean, be serious. Does this sound like Tourette's? Not to me. Not to me. Leave your opinion in the chat, but what I will do is I'm going to also add back this article because I want to make sure that y'all see this too. Let me make sure it's on the screen. So back to this article from Dateline saying that Warner Brothers, the American company, told the BBC to pull this shit. Pull it. We don't want to hear it over here. And they didn't. And they didn't. But again, like I said, if Warner Brothers calls you, Warner Brothers is a big deal. You're going to say, hey, oh, shit. We got 2 hours to do this? You have a 2-hour delay. You have this man running around using this expletive more than once. You have the BBC who apologized to the audience, but never apologized to the actors who and the crew from Sinners who received this abuse. And then you have white UK outlets, news media outlets saying, oh, this is the least racist person. And if you're unable to accept that he didn't mean this in a malicious way, then you're an ableist? What are we talking about? What the fuck are we talking about here? This is inexcusable. Inexcusable. Let's get back to the point of the article where I stopped. And again, somebody from Warner Brothers is saying for this story to be true, it means that nobody in the room mentioned it to the BBC or BAFTA in the 2 hours. That 2-hour delay is so important. And the fact that this other Black woman is speaking out from Sinners saying he did the same thing to me. Warner Brothers is understood to have been in contact with BAFTA repeatedly during the evening, making the organization aware of other instances involving Davidson, including, and Deadline is putting unintentional. These words are very specific. Why are you saying unintentional? You don't know this person's mind. You're excusing it so you cannot be called ableist. But if you need me to unexcuse it and you need to call me an ableist, do it. Do it. I don't excuse and I don't forgive racism at all. It's nothing excusable about that. And I'm not a person that has enough power in my life currently to cancel somebody's career. But when you're racist, I'm done. There's nothing you can do to come back from that. There's no apology. There's no new movie role where you acted your heart out and you really took this role very serious. What could he do? So they're also using the word, including unintentional comments made to Sinners production designer. I'm sorry, I called her a wardrobe designer. Production designer, Hannah Beechler. A source told Deadline that Warner Brothers representations continued after the awards, with executives confronting BAFTA CEO Jane Millichip and chair Sarah Putt at the post-show dinner. The Hollywood studio resumed contact with BAFTA Monday morning as the arts charity was drafting a statement, which was eventually released around 6 p.m. local time. Warner Brothers is also said to have sought talks with the BBC amid alarm that the N-word incident remained on iPlayer, but sources said a meeting did not materialize. They're purposefully not removing it. They are banking on your outrage, people. They're banking on your outrage. They love it. Excuse my fade. I mean, my skin looks good, but I don't have no makeup on, so I'm not dressed up nice. But they're banking on Black outrage. Black outrage brings the dollars. Excuse me. So the Black outrage brings money. We all know that. Warner Brothers is claiming to have been trying to do the right thing in this. The BBC removed the BAFTA Film Awards. Pardon me. So it says the BBC removed the BAFTA Film Awards from iPlayer at around 11:30 a.m. on Monday. This was nearly 15 hours after it was first broadcast. This is crazy. In a statement again on Monday, the BBC spokesperson said some viewers may have heard strong and offensive language during the BAFTA Film Awards. You think? This arose from involuntary verbal tics associated with Tourette syndrome. And as explained during the ceremony, it was not intentional. We apologize that this was not edited out prior to broadcast, and it will now be removed from the version on BBC iPlayer. The BBC is also coming under pressure from British lawmakers to explain how the racial slur was broadcast, even if it was not clearly audible. Labour MP Dawn Butler wrote to BBC boss Tim Davie demanding transparency. The BBC could have prevented this. given that the program was aired on a 2-hour delay. It is disappointing that this language was not removed prior to transmission, Butler said. Now we need to understand why. My goodness. And then we have another story, guys. Pardon me. Okay, hi guys, I'm back on screen. Sorry, I got a little choked up there. But there is another article. So the BBC is now revealing it edited out a second racial slur from BAFTA Film Awards coverage. What in the absolute chunk is going on? So the BBC, a second racial slur was edited out at the BAFTA Film Awards coverage by BBC on Sunday. Kate Phillips emailed staff this afternoon to apologize and reveal that a second slur was removed from the broadcast, which airs 2 hours after the live ceremony on BBC One. The BBC has been criticized from all quarters, including, let me move my laptop a bit over so you guys can see me. The BBC has been criticized from all quarters, including leading politicians, for failing to edit out the N-word from its BBC One broadcast after it was shouted from the audience involuntarily. If you say so. Involuntarily by Tourette's campaigner, John Davidson, to the stars of sinners who were on stage. Phillips said the edit team removed another racial slur. This one was aired in error, and we would never have knowingly allowed this to be broadcast. We take full responsibility. When I was made aware of it was audible on iPlayer, I asked for it to be taken down. As I'm sure you're aware, we put out a statement yesterday morning to apologize that the remark was not edited out prior to broadcast. This is insane. And so let's go to another article I see here. Oh my God. Google released a news alert about the BAFTA Film Awards debacle, including the N-word in its news alert. So if you guys don't know, pardon me, everyone. If you guys don't know, you can go on Google and you can set Google alerts. And a Google alert is, you can type in anything. If you want it to be your name, if you want it to be about, Cancun weather, if you want it to be about your university or your school's homecoming events, anything you put into Google, you can set an alert for Google will send you a notification, an email alert, like a little blurb that this story is out. Anywhere across the World Wide Web, Google will search for that word, and every time that word is in an article or a headline, they'll send you an alert. So Google sent out alerts about the BAFTAs debacle, and they left the N-word in it. They say it was automated. Google has apologized. Let's bring this back on screen for you guys to see. Google has apologized. Why is everybody always apologizing? Why is nobody just completely doing the right thing? Do you know how easy it is? I mean, I'm being serious, y'all. Let me take another sip of water. Hopefully this time don't choke me up. Do y'all know how easy it is to wake up in the morning and not be racist? Even if you have thoughts, do you know how easy it is to not speak them? There is a concerted effort in your mind, body, spirit. I consider racist people soulless, so I won't say soul. There is a concerted effort in that pea brain of yours to be racist and to verbalize and act out on your racism. There is a concerted effort to do so. It is very easy to not say things that you think. And let's not pretend that this person with Tourette's is not able to think. That's not how it goes. Racism is thought about. That's why when he sees Black people, his tick is the N-word. This is not a person that's not in control of their thoughts. This is a person that may not be in control of their mouth. The thoughts are there. The N-word is there in your mind. What comes out of your mouth is maybe what's incontrollable. You understand what I'm saying? So let's not pretend that Tourette's is this person that's had arrested development, who can't think for themselves. No, they're fully developed. They're fully developed. That's why this person is at the BAFTAs. That's why this person is able to act in movies. Are you acting in a movie? Am I acting in a movie? No. This person thought out their career, wanted to be an actor, and became one. Now, all of a sudden, he can't control anything. There's no way he's thinking this. Are you kidding? This is a motherfucker that can read and write and supposedly act. So guess what? They can learn. They've learned racism and they've exhibited racist behaviors. This is not Tourette's. This is a thought in their mind. Tourette's is the outburst. The thought is still there. So let's not pretend that this is some innocent person who was never racist, could never be racist. What is that? I don't even understand why people are acting like this. Could never happen. It happened. It did happen. It's there. Anyway, let's continue with this story. So Google sent out an alert apologizing because it included the N-word in the alert. The tech giant pushed out a notification linking to The Hollywood Reporter article, which had the headline, "How the Tourette's Fallout Unfolded at the BAFTA Film Awards." The alert then invited readers to see more and then included the N-word. The notification was spotted and condemned by Instagram user Denny Price, who said it was absolutely effed. It was fucked up. Hello? He added, "What an interesting Black History Month this has turned out to be." Deadline is not embedding Price's post here because it contains a screenshot of the offending Google alert, but it can be viewed here. Would you guys like to see it? Why not? Let's do it. Oh, dear God. I'm going to share this with y'all. I'm going to share this with y'all, and I hate it. I hate to see it for myself. But let's just go ahead and you can see it, because what the absolute fuck? I'm going to share this with you. Trigger warning. It includes the N-word from these idiots over at Google. I'm going to add it to the screen now. Trigger warning. Can you all see it? Let's see if I can zoom in a bit. Huh. Well. Surprising. Not. This is never surprising. This is never surprising to me. And you know what the biggest problem for me is that I think the biggest shock for me is that people are then expecting still Black people to be the bigger person. Why aren't you forgiving this racist outburst? You're an ableist. Excuse me? Excuse me? This is what they always do, just like I told you earlier. It's the monetization of Black outrage. It makes people money. Let me tell you something. I did a video a couple weeks ago, and you can all go back and watch my videos. Hit the thumbs up when you watch my video. Go back and watch my videos. I said something very, very, very specific. about these content creators, like the Jolly Good Ginger. Who else is it? There's another one. These white or Indian, non-black, these non-black content creators who only report racism. Do you really think that this is because they are just upstanding allies? Or because they know posting Karen going crazy at some young black boy or black girl or some white woman or white man going berserk and being racist or unnecessarily calling the police on some black kids, that goes viral. These are not allies to our community. These are people who understand that this makes me a lot of fucking money. If I can get black people up in arms, if I can make black people see that this person was racist, and I can make 4, 5, 6 videos about this same clip and how we found her job and how I contacted the hospital. This is virality. This is money. This is not allyship. The biggest problem is that black people are so easily convinced that everybody's an ally. No, I don't trust the Jolly Good Ginger. And there's another one. There was another one who used to report on all type of racist events, and he ended up being like some kind of predator, like sexually harassing women online. These are not just upstanding people that are doing the right thing. These are people that understand how algorithms and content creation work. And you being mad because somebody was riding down the street and pulled up on a car of teenagers playing music too loud, that goes viral for you because you're so easily outraged. I don't follow any of those people. I can't even think of the other one that was accused of assault or harassing somebody on Twitter. But there's the Jolly Good Ginger. There's this Arab guy. I can't think of his name. These people aren't your allies. These people aren't your friends. They want to make money. You think Google who built Google who built Google and then built Gemini and then built excuse me, Google who built Google and then built Gemini didn't catch this? Come on, man. I'm not gonna fall for it because I'm smart. In fact, I'm not gonna fall for it because I'm brilliant. I know this type of outrage gets the people going. Remember on Kanye's song, and I'm gonna say we're gonna have to come back. We're gonna circle back maybe tonight or tomorrow where we talk about on Kanye's song. Kanye has a song called Niggas in Paris with Jay-Z. And there's an interlude. And someone says, this is stupid. And it's cut from Napoleon Dynamite, the movie. And it says, this is stupid. And Napoleon replies, it's not stupid, it's provocative. It gets the people going. That's why the N-word wasn't cut from the BAFTAs. That's why Google sent out this thing. Come on. It's provocative. It gets the people going. All right, y'all. That's all I got for today. I hope you really do subscribe to the channel. Hit the thumbs up for me. Be sure to share this with a friend. Comment down below if you're watching the replay. I appreciate you coming over too. And if you're new here, again, my name is LA. I'm going to hop on here more and more because I finally got the perfect setup. I'm so excited. Yeah, you know what? This setup actually works really, really, really well for me. So I'm going to keep going live. And my skin is cleared up and looking good, so I don't have to throw on makeup. And I hope to see you soon. I am Live Well LA everywhere. So on Instagram, it's live_well_LA. On TikTok, it's the same. And don't follow me on Threads. It's a mess over there, please. My Threads is ridiculous. But on TikTok and Instagram, I'm Live Well LA. Be sure to thumbs up the video. leave a comment, share it with a friend. Love you. And don't forget, it's provocative. It gets the people going.